Hey guys, welcome to another video in a series that I'm calling Top Dog Off-Road Reviews. And that's because I take the top dog off-roader up the same trail and see how it does. And today we certainly have a top dog. In fact, we have the top dog because this is not just a Raptor. It is, of course, the Raptor R. Now I'm going to compare it to the Bronco Raptor, which I drove up here, about a year ago, to see which one you might want to consider buying if you had the money. And I do mean if, because, well, both of these are very expensive. So let's start by talking about how much we paid for our Raptor R. We bought it for about $110,000, and it was missing two options: a sunroof and the power tailgate. So it is dampened, but not power up or power down. In fact, it's pretty heavy, surprisingly heavy. Now, that would make it, if it had both those options, about a $112,000 truck. But let's be real in that most people now are not going to be able to buy this at $112,000. You're going to pay at least $20,000, $30,000, even $40,000 over MSRP. Now, of course, the Bronco Raptor starts at about $75,000. And when you get all the bells and whistles, you're probably at $80,000 or over. But once again, you're not going to be able to get it for sticker, so you're going to be paying $10,000, $20,000 over sticker, which means that this truck, in real terms, is at least $30,000 more expensive than the Bronco Raptor. Let me get the sticker and I'll show you exactly what we paid for it. Starts at $76,000 right there, and then when you get the R, you add another $30,000 to it. We've had some actual removals. Actually, the advanced security pack -50, heated steering wheel -140, and that's because when we bought it, they didn't have the chips for those. So a grand total of $109,000. Give or take $55. Destination and delivery is a whopping $1,895. I figure Ford figures you can afford a Raptor R, you can afford to pay almost $1,900 to get it delivered to your dealership. I know that Tommy configured this vehicle, and it was about $81,000 with the optional equipment, which is like the Raptor series, adaptive cruise control, so it does have some autonomous stuff, heated steering wheel, wireless charging pad. Yep, we got one of those for sure. Now, of course, the biggest difference between the Raptor R and the Bronco Raptor is, well, besides the fact that one's a truck and the other one isn't, is under the hood. And this is what you're paying that $30,000 extra dollars for. Let's see if I can open this. There we go, come on, there we go. It's right there. It's a 5.2 liter supercharged V8 that puts out 700 horsepower out of the GT500, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And that's a big, of course, difference from the 3-liter V6 that is in the Bronco Raptor, which puts out 418 horsepower, plus this puts out 640 pound-foot of torque. So, you know, you got a supercharged V8 versus a 3-liter V6 that's turbocharged. Big difference, $30,000 worth of difference. I'll leave that to you, or I'll let you know at the end of this video. Now, my biggest issue with the Raptor R is that it's just a little too subtle. When you're going down the road, especially in orange, you can't really tell this is the top dog Raptor R, because the way you really can tell is the orange R. An orange truck, an orange R doesn't stand out. You also have this weird binnacle that's unique to the Raptor R. I don't know, it's kind of goofy looking. And then if you really want to play a fun game, you can go in here and you can look at the sticker package, which you can remove at no charge, by the way, and then just look around, and if I remember right, you can find the V right there, designating that it's a V8. Now, of course, the Bronco Raptor also tows a lot more. 8,000, I believe, 600 pounds. Both of these vehicles have one, I would say, critical flaw for off-roading, and that is they are both extremely wide. That's about the only off-road fault they have, because otherwise we're rolling on 37s. These are BFG KO2s with beadlock capable wheels, with adaptive Fox suspension hiding back there, 13.1 inches of ground clearance, recovery hooks, of course, front and back, skid plates all around. Let's see if you can see the Fox shocks here a little bit better. There they are. They're hiding under there. Really good. Just an incredibly powerful and capable off-road machine. There you go. There's a better look at the Fox shocks. And of course the skid plate right there. Really about as good off-road as you can get. But then again, so is the Bronco Raptor. I would say, you know, in terms of off-road worthiness, they're both incredibly capable. Both rolling on 37s, you know, both using the most modern and I would say most advanced off-road equipment that you can get in the market today. So, you know, which one would I rather take off-road? That'd be a toss-up. It's hard to say because this truck is just supremely capable. Now, a little Easter egg hiding over here, American flag, and yeah, let me show you the inside of this truck, and it's also very nice in here. Seats are extremely comfortable. Once again, the orange R designating that it is the Raptor version, and the Top Dog Raptor version, not one but 6 auxiliary switches. So if you have lights or winches, all of that easy to wire in. And then here's the magic, of course. It's under the hood. Start it up and let me open the window. Yep, we know we're off-road only. We know we need to change the oil. And yeah, the exhaust note is really what's incredible. And these 3 buttons are probably the most interesting buttons. Here, you can change your steering from off-road to normal, to comfort, to sport mode. Here you can change your suspension, also to off-road, sport, and normal. And then here, my favorite one, is you can change your exhaust. I don't know if you can hear it in here, but oh yeah, that is so incredible. 4 different exhaust settings. So that's quiet, that is normal, that is sport, and I'm gonna go into Baja mode. Can you tell a difference? Yeah, okay, it's off-road. I'm completely off-road. Let me go into normal mode again. So that's quiet. It's very similar. And then here, of course, you have the mode selector, which is nice because unlike some, let's say, GM trucks, once you select, sorry, I'm swatting away mosquitoes. Once you select the mode, it automatically does everything else for you. So there's off-road, there's Baja, there's rock crawl, and then if you go the other way, you can do normal, sport, and of course, tow haul. This is a very nice feature. You can do this with all other many other F-150s, but basically you push this, and then the gear shift lever goes away, and then you've got a nice little work pad, or in my case, a place to have your morning bagel or your afternoon McDonald's. Now, Ford has thoughtfully kept all your audio and HVAC buttons, which is really nice. You've got a whole bunch of course, different cameras. So right now, if you put in drive, you'll be in forward, but you know, you've got a 360 camera right there. You've also got like a hitch camera, which shows you, let's try again, there you go, the tail, or if you want the hitch, in this case, there's no hitch, what's behind you, or you can just go back to the front camera, which is perhaps the most useful. Downhill, basically crawl control, and of course you get massive paddle shifters and this incredible thick steering wheel with this really nice red stitching. If you guys watch TikToks, we should do one of those TikToks where we go Raptor R, and then, you know, like that. Raptor R. Anyway, I don't think that girl who does them is going to be doing a truck anytime soon. I think she's going to stick to Bentleys. All right, let me put the seatbelt on here and we'll go off-road and we can talk about what it's like to off-road this. Now, of course, heated and cooled seats, and we do have our Pro trailer backup. Don't really use that very much because even though it does tow a lot, really we've been using it more as a daily driver. We've put on, since we've owned it, 5,291 miles, take it to Moab a bunch, and just really enjoy this truck. I mean, I cannot think of a better cross-country road vehicle than this Raptor. It's just so comfortable. With those shocks in Baja mode, it's like riding on air suspension. Actually, it's better than riding on air suspension. I did drive this up here from Denver yesterday, up I-70, and I did find that as an on-roader, it's, rolling on 37s, plenty of power, I believe over 450 horsepower, or around 450, but it's a little squishy. So, this vehicle has been designed as a Baja runner, and when you get it on the highway, all of that great suspension travel, even when you firm it up, and all of that great articulation make for not great on-road performance. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't say, it was terrifying, but at 75 miles an hour, it ain't no 911. Now, one of the things that Ford did in this generation of Raptor was they got rid of the Torsen front end locker, basically, and a lot of people are worried about that, but we have had no issues with this in terms of actually having enough traction or enough grip from the front wheels, since that Torsen diff is gone. It's now using brake to basically stop the wheel that's spinning, so you get traction to the wheel that's not. And if you get this thing in a rock crawl situation where that becomes an issue, then you're probably one of the few people who actually ever take a Raptor into that situation, because the problem with this Raptor and the Bronco Raptor is that they're just so wide. And here I am, of course, on a trail called Deer Creek, thanks to our friends over at Onyx. There, that's the navigation, not exactly knowing where I'm going. But if you got Onyx, you could download the map, put it into your phone, use CarPlay, and then you would know exactly where you're going. So check them out. But even here in Colorado, where we do have sand, there are a lot of trails that I would not take this vehicle on, because well, I'll show you, it's just too wide. And we're going to hit a part of this trail pretty soon where it's going to get pretty narrow, and I'm going to have to either put the mirrors in or risk pinstriping the truck. Now, I have taken, like I said, both the Raptor R like now and the Bronco Raptor up here, and they're both very capable. There's not a lot between them. The thing that I remember that struck me the most about the Bronco Raptor is just how solidly built it is. It's actually built on a very much upgraded chassis from the regular Bronco. So the regular Bronco feels capable, extremely capable, but it doesn't feel like it's made out of one piece of solid steel. Whereas both this truck and the Bronco Raptor just feel incredible. They feel like Ford has poured steel into a mold to create both vehicles, and that's because they both are upgraded for serious off-road use. The other thing that struck me about the Bronco Raptor is, because it's been widened, it just has an extremely wide track, which I think here off-road can be a little detrimental when you're trying to get through tight trails, but on the road it almost looks to some extent comically wide. And I don't know, I'll leave that up to you to decide if that's a good or a bad thing, because to me, to my eye, obviously I love lifted vehicles. I love lifted vehicles on 37s, but yeah, it almost looks a little too wide. Dare I say it? That's like saying it's almost got too much tire. I didn't know that was possible. Now the other bad thing about this truck, here comes a Jeep. She's moving over, which is nice for all of you guys out there who don't do a lot of off-roading. The uphill vehicle has the right of way, but that's not a really hard and fast rule. It's just whoever can move over. Howdy. Oh, you got a handful there with all those dogs. Yeah. All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, where was I? The other thing about both these vehicles is that they don't do really well on fuel economy. The Monroney over there says that this is going to get 12. Let's see what we're getting here. I'll zoom in for you so you can see better. And we're getting, there it is, 12.5. Not exactly stellar. And let me put that into perspective for you. And I don't think this is a problem for anybody who has one of these, because I suspect if you can afford, 112 plus whatever the dealer markup is, you can afford gas. But this has a 36-gallon fuel tank, which means that if you're buying premium gas, which you're going to have to put in here because that's what is required, and let's say I'm going to just do some easy math here. Let's say you're getting it for $5 a gallon, which I think would be, an average price if you're not in California. Then 36 gallons by $5 a gallon, I think it's about $180. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm stuck at math, but that means you're going to be paying close to $200 to fill this up every single time. And you'd be surprised just how quickly this truck goes through 36 gallons of premium fuel. It is rather shocking and remarkable. All right, now we're going to get up to this part that is a little narrow up here where the trees kind of come in, and this is where you're going to see the downside of both this truck and the Bronco Raptor. And like I said, this is a pretty open trail, especially once we pop above tree line, then it doesn't become an issue. But coming up, let me zoom in, coming up right there is going to get a little bit, there we go, you can see it right here. I'm already going to start to hit. I have to bring in my mirrors because I don't want to scratch them. Let me bring in my mirrors. Come on in. There we go. Now I get to scratch the whole outside of them, but look, I mean, yeah. You can kind of see the issue, and then up here it even gets narrower with the trees. And this is just a little bit of right there and right there. This is just a little bit of potential pinstriping. But imagine if you're not, hitting the furry part of the fur, but actually the sticky part of it. You're going to get into areas where you're just not going to be able to maneuver this truck here in Colorado because it's so wide. So you basically have to thread the needle, and sometimes it's hard to see just how steep this is. Outside of how wide this is, I gotta tell you, I love the suspension, I love the power, I love the seating comfort, I love the fact that I've got the Bronco Raptor in Colorado. This must be one of the first ones here. So, there's part of me which is kind of very grateful that you guys watch these videos that allows me to do things like be the first to actually have one of these here in Colorado. Now, I do love the exhaust note. I think that is my favorite feature of this truck, and that is definitely missing in the Bronco Raptor. That V6 just doesn't have the, let me take my mirrors back out. There we go. The V6 just doesn't have the same emotional connection that this supercharged V8 does. It's just fabulous. Oh, here comes a motorcycle. I'll let him go by me. Oh, there's a bunch of motorcycles. Okay, by the way, that means they're the last one of them, so you know how many there are. so you don't go running into somebody else. So we were talking about fuel economy. The Bronco Raptor gets about, I think, 14 if I recall right from my review of it. So, it's not much better than 12, but it is a little bit better than 12. Oh, there's one more. I was wrong. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Let's see if you can go by me. Okay, thank you. Now, here's the last one. Here we're all riding KTMs. How cool is that? And usually with motorcycles, I like to stop. Same thing as mountain bikes or runners. Like I say, I'm in a big ass truck, and they're much more vulnerable out on the trail. So why, make it more difficult for them? A couple other things that differentiate this. I was talking about getting rid of the Torsen front end, front diff. The Bronco Raptor does have a locking front and rear, so certainly in that regard, it's going to be a little bit more capable if you're going to places like Moab and you're doing some slick rock. So I think the other big factor is this is heavier, even though it's made of aluminum. And if you're wondering, it's about 400 pounds lighter than a TRX. And of course, that's a truck that it directly competes with. But if you guys have been following this channel, you know that we just did a video where we compared the two when we took this to Moab. So I don't want to do that video again here. But this still is heavier than a Bronco Raptor. And of course, it's got a bed. In terms of space, full-size trucks are very spacious. So I would give the advantage actually to this truck over the Bronco Raptor. I think that there's more room in the cabin. I think it's more comfortable. I also think they both really suck in terms of being able to see over the hood. Now you're seeing my POV, my point of view, and you can see what I'm seeing, and that is a lot of, I'm going to call it like metal and, well, aluminum in this case, and plastic binnacle, which isn't grand, Ideally, a side-by-side, you just have incredible visual awareness all around you, so that when you're going up the shelf road, you know exactly where you're placing your wheels. Here, the only way I can do that is with this, and that is helpful, but the picture flattens everything out. It makes it a little bit useless in some regards. So it's hard to say, where the cliff starts and the dirt road ends. So the question I've been asking myself is a simple one, and I'm going to answer it as soon as we get up here, where I usually stop and then answer that, is would I pay more? And now we're going to just stick to MSRP because, it's hard to guess at over sticker pricing, because there'll be somebody who will leave a comment in the first hour of this video, I bought my Bronco Raptor for $20,000 under MSRP. That's just how people are. But realistically, you're looking at a $30,000 price difference. So, it's a supercharged V8 and more towing, worth the added $30,000 to have a truck versus the ultimate Bronco. And, the answer is simple. Yes, it is. It really is. For me, that V8 is just magnificent. The noise it makes, the power it has. We're looking at a 0-60 time for this in about 3.5 seconds. You got about 2 more seconds in the Bronco Raptor, but really these aren't vehicles you're going to be taking to the drag strip. But we just took this to the drag strip. Go to alltfl.com if you want to see that. And you can run at sea level, you can run 12s in this, which for a ginormous truck is pretty incredible, dare I say, unbelievable. So yeah, if I had the money, personally, and not company money, I would definitely get the Bronco Raptor over. I would ultimately get the Raptor R over the Bronco Raptor. And sorry if I misspoke there for a second. I'm trying to film and come up with, something that you guys might find an intelligent answer to a question I asked earlier. So for all of you guys and gals who are lucky enough to get one of these or have ordered one of these, just consider yourself lucky. and be assured that you've got, in this case, what is the more expensive one, but certainly the one that is the Swiss Army knife of off-roaders. Because not only does it have a great interior room, not only can it haul, not only can it tow, but it can also do 95% of what the Bronco Raptor can do. So the Raptor R, in my mind, if you've got the $100,000+ to afford one, is the one to get. And for all you guys who are leaving comments about me needing a cardiologist, come on up here to 11,000 feet above sea level and give it a try. See if you can solo a video and not do it without breathing very hard. Actually, I mean that seriously. I'd love to see you guys come out here. If you have a Bronco Raptor and you want to come out here and review it yourself on this trail, shoot us an email at AskTFLTruck and we'll take you up here, and I'll even shoot you, and you could do the same little trail before it starts snowing again. And I'd love to get your take on that truck. Anyway, as always, or that Bronco, as always, this is Roman saying thanks for watching. And I will see you next time on this Top Dog series of off-roaders. Ciao.